Welcome in. Welcome to Camp Vogelsang and my memories from Camp Vogelsang from the 1980s and the 1990s. This was a school for the Nazi Party to train leaders for the future. So back in 1936, this was built, finished. It took 2 years to build, but it was there for the cream of the Nazi Party to school the young leaders of the future to extend the Nazi Party into the future. Now, that's a little bit about that. That's what the camp was really set up for. And there was also the Mädchen, the Wehrmädchen, the top women from the German army as well. Now, they got to be taught and trained as leaders for most of the men, but also the women as well, yeah? Now, you got to say this much. The schooling, like I say, was there for the furtherment of the Nazi Party into the future. But I got to tell you, this camp looks fantastic. And as you look around it, and I show you the pictures after this, you're going to get the benefit of my knowledge, because that hillside in the background you just saw, there's a bit of a secret into that hillside. Keep hanging around. Keep watching. We'll tell you all about this camp and my memories. Now, we drove down from Celle, which is in northern Germany. It took about 6 hours to get there, because when a military convoy goes anywhere, anybody who's been in the military or the army or the air force or whatever, you know it doesn't move very fast. So all the civilians in their super fast BMWs, Mercedes, Audi, yeah, they were honking on the horn and giving us not the finger, they were shouting, Inselaffe! Crazy island monkeys, that's what they were calling us. Inselaffe, island monkey. And it took 6 hours to get there, 6 long hours. By the time we got there, we were glad to be there. But once we got there, I got to tell you, I spent days and days walking around this camp, feeling the history. I'm not a Nazi fanatic, but I am a wartime historian, and I love history, but especially Second World War. That is really what appeals to me, and also some of the modern time engagements in battle that I myself have taken part in, like the Gulf War, Northern Ireland, Yugoslavia, just to say a few, and I've got the medals to prove it as well. But staying with Camp Vogelsang, it was there to indoctrinate people into the future. That hillside, I'm going to tell you about that hillside pretty soon, but I tell you, we got lots to talk about. Let's get into the video right now. We'll talk about what I saw when I was there, and the memories that I still have, and the things that people don't teach you. And remember, now this is called a Gedenkstätte. A Gedenkstätte. Like all the concentration camps in Germany, they're called Gedenkstättes. It's a place of thought, a place of remembrance, a place of peace, a place of absolute quiet. And that's just like Camp Vogelsang. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. And it's got a lot of history, including the swimming baths. I tell you now, I'm going to take you on a video ride for 3 to 4 minutes. You're going to get the benefit of what I've gone through. And I did serve in the British Army for way over a decade. And like I say, I enjoyed my time there. Enjoy this video. I'll catch you on the other side. Ordensburg Camp Vogelsang, or Ordensburg Vogelsang, the camp. The Nazi camp from the Second World War, which was there to produce leaders of the future. Now, we're going to talk about the camp and a few of the hidden issues that you don't know about, because they don't write about this in history. So I'm going to take you through my own experiences at Vogelsang, Ordensburg Vogelsang. Let's get into this right now. And obviously, Adolf Hitler was there. Now, that's an aerial view. I'm going to take you through this quite quickly. As we see, there's Adolf in the situation. He's in Vogelsang. That's the exact position where Adolf was standing, and I have stood in the exact same position. Where is Vogelsang? It's near the Belgian border, and I traveled from Celle all the way down to Vogelsang to get to that location. It's not very well signposted, but you take a long road down there when you get there to get to the camp, and that's the entrance into the camp, and that's what it would have looked like back in the day. Aerial shot once again with the River Urft on the extremity, and that is a reconnaissance picture from the Royal Air Force of Camp Vogelsang during the war. Now we get to see a little bit more of Camp Vogelsang as we roll over it. They had an airstrip, a bar, swimming pool, and obviously there's the troops from 1936. Looking around the camp, though, that building there, that's where I slept, number 13. And it was an absolutely fantastic time, I got to tell you. I'll tell you more once we get off screen, especially on the hillside. Those stairs used to be staircases. It's now grass. See, they wanted to hide what was there from before, yeah? There's a picture of the swimming baths. That's what used to be there at the bottom of the Thingplatz. That's what the Allies did to it. They shot the living hell out of it and destroyed it. And that's the Thingplatz right there. The Thingplatz will become more apparent as we get through it. That hillside has a secret that I'm going to reveal. Standing in the exact space, that's the exact building. That's where Adolf Hitler would have been standing next to his troops back in 36. The Fackelträger, the torchbearer. Fackelträger, torchbearer. Impressive stonework, hey? They didn't do it by half. Fackelträger auf dem Pferd, torchbearer on the horse. A little bit more German for you. Looking at that eagle on the wall. There is that eagle on that wall today. Still in good shape. Again, you knew that Adolf visited Vogelsang 2 times. Now, I want to take you on a trip here. Look into the hillside in the distance. What I've got highlighted there used to be an eagle etched into the hillside with trees. They've carved the trees away to disfigure it, but you can still make out that eagle. And if you look down now, bird's eye view, I'll show you where that eagle is. That's where it is. And to the right of that eagle, there's another Nazi emblem. I'm going to show you what that is, but where that X is, what do you think that could have been? Yeah, it was a swastika of trees etched into the mountainside. You can still make them out pretty clearly. Beautiful piece of stonework again. Looking through onto the mountainside. That's the building where I stayed all those years ago. That's the swimming baths. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Clearer picture now. That's the cinema in its original state. You can still visit that. And that's the bar, the Kneipe for the German forces. And there's the Thingplatz. And what's hidden is a football field. If you look down below, you can see a football field. You're actually looking at the football field through the trees there too, but it's a football field and there's a game going on. And people still play on that field. And I played on that field. And I remember looking at that field. And it was a massive, big field too. And in 1937, German troops are marching for Adolf's inspection. And there's a bit more as we leave the camp gates. Vogelsang. A place I have many memories of. And I'm going to tell you a bit of it as we get off camera, just to give you a little bit more of an insight as to what I actually lived through and what it was like being on that camp. It was absolutely phenomenal, I got to tell you. Hope you enjoyed that. It took a little while to compile all that, and there's not a lot online. And like I say, the hillside in the background with the eagle on it, I saw that as soon as I got to Camp Vogelsang. I was absolutely smacked in the jaw with it. I was like gobsmacked, couldn't speak for a second or two. I was looking at this eagle. It was clearly an eagle in the hillside, and nobody was talking about it. Nobody said a thing. And then the swastika, which wasn't as visible. But like I say, when you see the aerial pictures and the pictures that I've showed you, and I've taken time to explain it to you, you can clearly see that that is the site of a massive swastika. So hence, when the Junkers, at the ORDENSBURG, were coming into school every morning, they would look across the mountain and they would see the eagle and the swastika, which literally, those are the 2 emblems of the Nazi party that you would recognize anywhere around the world. But like I say, the memories that I have from there, playing on the soccer field as well, that was part of this story. And that's why it links to this show, is because there's a soccer field down at the bottom. I've actually played a game on there, a proper game. There are games played on there to this day. And I got to tell you, when you play a football match on that field and you look up, I would say, the castle, it's quite awe-inspiring. It makes you feel really small. And like I say, the history, you can taste it, you can feel it. And when you put your hand on the brickwork, you really can feel it. When I slept in building number 13, I got to tell you, of a night time, we did hear a few things outside, and there was nobody outside. And we did hear marching feet once in a blue moon too, because like I say, I stayed there quite some time. And the buildings themselves, you felt like you were standing next to hundreds and hundreds of people inside those buildings. The spiritual residue in that camp is absolutely amazing. And if you don't like things that go bump in the night, or you're scared of ghosts, I wouldn't advise you go in there even during the day. But I gotta say, it was a fantastic trip. I'll never forget it. The eagle, the swastika, the football field, the camp itself, the amazing cinema, the Kneipe, the bar inside. I tell you, it was absolutely, if you get a chance to go there, you should do. But remember, today, it's a remembrance or a remembrance place. They're not thinking about the Nazi party any longer. They're not thinking about that swastika or that eagle in the hillside. They're not even thinking about the football field. It's there for people to come and see it, but think about something more peaceful than the Second World War and the German Nazi party, and obviously Adolf Hitler, or as they say, Adolf Hitler. So there you go. There's a little story for you. I hope you enjoyed it. It took some time to get there. Do some time, do some research, and see what you find. And if you can, get out there and go to it. I've been to a lot of the concentration camps, a lot of German barracks. I stayed in German barracks all throughout my time in Germany, and I can tell you now, every one of them scared the living crap out of everybody at night that had to patrol those camps. I'll leave you with that. Camp VOGELSANG, ORDENSBURG, VOGELSANG. Vielen Dank, mein Freund.